Here's a crankshaft. I'm loading it up so I can take it up to the shop so I can get my new bearings put on. I got my crank back, and while I was there, since I had the rods, I just had them install the bearings, the rod bearings and the rods. They're torqued down, so everything's good with those. They all move nice and free. I also had the gears pressed on with the bearings, so those are set and ready to go. So once I get the rest of the case put together, then I can install the crank. I picked up my last dowel pin. It goes on this center bearing here. So this half of the case is almost ready. What I need to do is get these lifters cleaned and oil them up to slide them in. I just do not want to do the oiling part yet because I do not have the cam yet, so I don't want to oil anything up. This is all in its dry state. Everything's cleaned and dry. I'm going to cover it up and let it sit. I don't want to oil it up and then just let it sit with the oil just dripping everywhere. So, and over on this half of the case, you can see everything's already pretty much set up. I have all my cam bearings in. I have my center main crank bearing in. The only part on here that I started working on was pushing down these seals to get those on there. So I'll end up pushing all these down, and like I said with the other half, I'm not going to oil anything up. I'm not going to drop the crank in there yet. I want to wait till I get my camshaft, have that ready to go, then I'll oil all of the bearings and drop them in so they're ready to go. So we're getting close. Now I'm just going to wait for the camshaft to come in. What I did is I'm going to order a C35, SCAT C35. So that should give me a little bit more performance. I'm not looking for a lot. I'm not doing much with it. It's going to be a mostly stock except for the C35 camshaft, and I'll probably put dual carbs on it. I don't plan on doing much with it, so it's mostly just going to be a stock engine. So, but we're getting there, making progress, and hopefully I'll get my bearing in soon, or excuse me, the camshaft in soon, and I can get rolling on this. I want to get it together. I'm at the point to where both case halves are cleaned, and I'm starting to install the exterior components of it first, which what I have here are the oil pressure relief valves. There's two of them, one forward, one on the rear, and they get the exact same components. The only difference is the spring length. As you can see, one's about half the size of the other. It's pretty easy to find out which side they go in, because if you try and put the wrong one in, it's not even close to fitting. So you're going to know exactly which side they go in. And what they get is a spring, I don't know what you call this. To me it looks like a little cup, so it's closed on this side, opened on this side, and basically the bottom of the cup just gets dropped in all the way in there. I already have this rear relief valve. I already dropped that one in there. Here's the spring for the rear, which is the longer spring, and we have the nuts. They're both the same, so they are interchangeable. It just has a slotted opening on there. So I'm going to pop these in. Takes very little pressure to get it in there. And as you can see, it's starting to go in, so I'm gonna have to set the camera down to tighten those up, but I just wanted to show you there's not a lot of videos showing actually these oil pressure reliefs, so I just wanted to mention that. They are fairly self-explanatory, but there's two of them, one front, one rear. The front one has the shorter spring, rear has the longer spring. It's the only way it's going to fit. Other than that, the other components are exactly the same. Installed the oil pressure relief valves. Like I said, those are pretty easy. You just push them in, tighten them all the way down. There's no issues there. The next item I just slid it in is the distributor drive, and you slide it in the back here. Hopefully you guys can see this. Slides right in there, and if you can notice on the right side, it's a smaller half circle than the left side. So that's how it goes on this one, the smaller half circle, and it's slotted not in the center, it's slightly off to the right, which makes the right side a little smaller. But that's how you slide it in. When you get it in there, you can't tell from this view, but down here is two very thin washers that go on when you slide it, and it kind of just pops in there. But when you slide the drive gear in, make sure you put those two thin washers in there. I have sprayed air in there to get anything that was left in the case out. I wiped the case down with like an alcohol rag, basically, to make sure that nothing else was in there. The dowel pins, I installed those where the main bearings are going to go. As you see, I have that one in. There's one there. There's one there. This one's already installed. I pressed that main bearing half down in there. I've also pushed in the camshaft bearings, and basically they go in size from small to large, going from front of the engine, which is here, small, medium, the large. I have the double thrust bearings. Not sure if you can tell, but they actually have sidewalls here, and they snap right in, no issues. These actually have notches, so you can't put them in wrong. And that's the half with the distributor. Here's the other half. Unfortunately, I'm missing a dowel pin. I thought I had all 5 of them, but obviously not. So this other half of the main bearing is going to have to wait. I'm just going to go up to the local VW shop here and grab one. Again, here's the camshaft bearings, small, medium, large. Fits right in, and you can see there's actually slots where the sides will fit right in. Well, it's kind of dark over here. I'm not sure what you can see, but they'll slide right in there, pop right in, hold that in from moving around. The bearings I used, not saying these are the best out there, but they're, with the research I did, they were rated pretty high. So I have, for the crankshaft bearings, I have Silverline. Mine were not standard, so at one point in time this case was opened up a little, so mine are 2010 over on the main bearing set. So I had my local VW shop actually measure that out for me. I don't have that capability easily here at my house, so I had that fixed, but these are the ones that I used for mine. And like I said, they fit right in, no problems, and I've heard good things about them. As far as the camshaft bearings, I used Mall name brand, and everything was standard on there. Here's what I used. H70023 is the code number, and like I said, they all popped right in, no problems. I cleaned everything off. I'm gonna have to stop right there for now because I don't have this dowel pin. I don't want to install anything else. I want to get these bearings in first, so I'm gonna run up there a little bit later today, grab that dowel pin, we'll pop it in, and I will continue on from there. And thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to send me a message or just put a comment down below. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. There's going to be more engine build as well as some work on my 72 bay. And I still haven't got to the interior yet. Just other things coming up, but I'm going to start tearing that apart, and hopefully by the end of January I'll have the body lifted off the frame and start going from there. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.